Hello and welcome to the Table Talk Wednesdays here at the CDL Cafe, where leadership isn't just talked about, it's challenged. This isn't your typical leadership conversation. This is where we gather around the table every week to ask hard questions and put character back to the center of how we lead. Sometimes it's just us, the team, sharing real reflection, and sometimes we pull up an extra seat for a guest whose voice brings fresh perspective, bold insight, and lived experience to the table. Because around here, we believe leadership that isn't rooted in character won't last. Leadership that doesn't challenge the system won't change it. And leadership that's all image and no substance isn't leadership at all. So grab your coffee, lean in, and let's get into today's table talk. Let's go.
Has been quite easy, honestly. Just moving from one place to another, and tomorrow come back to Houston, and then this weekend to Austin. So it's gonna be like back to back. Yes.
Great. How about you, Dr. McKenzie?
No, I'm good. I'm actually good. My weekend was good. Football season is upon us, so that means it's great games. And I've even watched, believe it or not, I even watched some college games because I've never been a big college football watcher, but they've had some really good games these first 2 weeks of college football. So so that's good.
Can you see my jersey?
It is the season, right? Everybody's so excited about the football.
I know. He did not come on here with a New York Giants jersey. No, you didn't. Is that a Kurt Warner jersey?
Well, I don't know. It's the thing that I have, so I'm not familiar with them. But that's the shirt that I was telling you about. These two people.
Is that number
fighting.
13?
Yes, Beckham.
Yeah, I think that was Kurt Warner's number because he's a quarterback. He played for the Giants some years ago. So, got you.
Okay.
Got you.
Well, when I was buying this shirt, these two salesmen were fighting. One was with and the other was against, and so I was like,
Yep.
I was like, okay, guys, since you are fighting, I'm gonna have this shirt for 50% off. What do you think?
I know that's right.
Yeah.
How was your birthday, Hassan? I know that we have a special. Yes. How do you feel? What is your new, goal? How about tell us a little bit about you?
Any new revelations?
Maybe I told you that I don't like, putting new revolution on, or I don't know, what do we call it? The new. What do we call it? What do they call it?
Resolution.
New what?
New Year's resolutions. New Year's resolutions.
Resolutions and.
But I said revolutions. Did you have any revolutions that you've had that you yourself being a year older?
Okay. I didn't hear the words right. Well, I'm stepping into 45, so that's a huge step, and thank God for giving me another, year. That's my new year, I call it. Like this is the new year. Every one of us have a different new year. It's not the universal new year. So I don't know. You just feel refreshed. You just feel that there's something new coming. And this year is different because the only thing that I'm focusing on right now is the character-driven leadership. Is because we have something that is going to impact lives, and we're not talking about the trending impact lives kind of stuff. The words and the buzzwords and everything, and really impact life. Really talk about the pain, talk about the topics that really interest people. So this is my focus right now. I'm not talking about it just because we are on the CDL Cafe talk show or something. Since last year, this was my, I mean, when I started it, this was the thing that we need to work on. This is the thing that I wanted to build, and I made this decision to dedicate everything to it. I eliminated everything that had to do with, you know, I don't know how can I say it, but I'm sure that both of you encountered this thing. So many people are talking about personal development and personal growth and you know, going after shiny object syndromes, and I don't know if you agree with me. What we're talking about here in the CDL Cafe is different because we are going to pull up things from what's really going on, and we need to solve it. We need to discuss it. We need to talk about it. And this was the thing that I wanted to focus on. So I thank God. Now it's going to reach 1 year since we started the CDL Cafe, and which is going to be in like we started in 18th of December. The official start for the CDL was 18th of December. So that's going to be the marking the 1 year for the CDL Cafe. For me, I thank God, 45 years old. I came across, like you guys came. I mean, we crossed path together. So I'm thankful for knowing you guys and for being alongside me, understanding the vision. And I believe that we're going to have many years of success together through our connection. We don't know what God has in store for us, but I'm sure that we share the same. I don't want to. What do you call it? Dreams? No. Vision? Maybe.
Mission. You know what is the nice thing,
Mission.
that it is interesting how I think God put people in your life for different reasons, right? And also for different purposes. And I think that when you just mentioned that 1 year is amazing, you know, because time flies. But I think that is the development, is the evolution, and also is the personal growth that we, the three of us, has had. So I am so happy that I know that we are in a process of many, you know, I will not say dreams come true because I don't say dreams. I will say like purposes come true, and more especially about really growing, not just as a team but individually. Because when you grow individually, I think you can add more value into any team as well. So thank you, Hassan, because I know for the time that I've been meeting you that you have a clear purpose, a clear vision, and you have a big heart. And sometimes maybe you say, no, I don't want it, but you have a big heart. And I think I really appreciate that since the very beginning, the opening, the trust, and the confidence when you just share part of your life. I think that's what really makes the connection. And I'm very happy also with Dr. Mackenzie, because the leadership that he has and the vision that he has been also adding a lot of value to this team.
Yes, I totally agree. I mean, I don't know, like, you know, how things happened starting the CDL. I remember the very first call we had, me and Dr. McKinsey, talking about the idea. I mean, yes, Dr. McKinsey, you're an added value for this project, and I'm looking forward to, you know, I mean, you know, you didn't give your all yet. Can you hear me? Dr. McKinsey, you did not give all yet. I'm waiting on that. You are full of, I mean, you are full of yeah, I mean, be generous. Come on. Be generous, man. Be generous.
Well, I think that as leaders, we should always, or this is one thing, I'll say it like this. I've noticed this one thing about leaders, about those who are extremely extraordinary in what they do. and it's something that I'd ask myself when I'm like, well, why is this person always like this? Leaders never feel like they've given their all, that there's always something more to be able to give. There's always something more to get better at in what they do. How can I do this better? How can I pour out more? And so you saying that I haven't given my haven't given my best yet means that I still and hopefully I will never feel as if I've gotten to the point where I've given everything that I've given. That there will always be something that I can give even more, that's asking me to give even more. And it's almost like this because I make this statement. I always say the smartest person in the room is the one that knows that they don't know everything. I'm gonna say that for y'all again. The smartest person in the room is always the one that knows that they don't know everything, which means there's always room for improvement. There's always room for learning. There's always room to grow and to expand. So you saying that making that statement is very true. Yes, I have not given my all yet. Absolutely.
I'm gonna make sure that we
The best
squeeze
is
you.
coming.
Say that again.
That the best is
I'm
coming.
saying that. Yeah, you're saying the best is coming, and I'm saying that I am sure I have to make sure that I'm going to be squeezing you during this journey to get the full out of
Absolutely.
you. That what that's what we need to do, right?
Absolutely.
Um,
Absolutely.
well, you know what? Maybe whoever is going to listen to this talk right now, they're going to think that we already planned what we are talking about at the moment because somehow the topic is related to it, but I promise you, we did not plan that. I didn't know that Atala is going to bring up my birthday uh, thing over here and make me say all these things that I've said, and which I think that I didn't do you justice, guys. I was not prepared. I'm just talking my heart towards what's coming towards the CDL, towards you guys crossing path with me. Um, but today's topic is about leadership without soul. So what are the odds? Like we're talking about, putting your heart into leadership. So I'm gonna start the way that Dr. McKinsey liked me to start. I'm gonna ask you what are your drinks, and I'm gonna I'm gonna assign.
I'm gonna mess you up real good today, but go ahead. I'm gonna mess you up real good. Go ahead.
Come on, no problem, no problem. That's what I did. Like, listen. I'm gonna ask you for your drinks, and based on your drinks, I'm gonna ask you the questions that are related to the topic itself. All right. So I'm gonna pick the question that is related to today's topic based on your drink. So again, Dr. McKinsey, what you will have on the table today?
What I'm gonna have today is I'm gonna have me a root beer. Do we have any root beer on the menu?
We have something related to it. I'm gonna add it. What did you, don't you think that it's a good marketing tool? Don't you think it's a good marketing strategy? I'm just asking the question to know
Oh
what do you want
no,
to
I love
drink,
that.
and just
Oh, we
I'm
lost the
just
time.
taking your answer and adding it to the menu. So
No,
that's
I
how I'm
love it.
collecting
I
the.
love that. I love that. I think that's a great. I think that's a great add to the cafe feel. What's your drink that you want to have as we sit here and we have our conversations and we get the drink that we have. No, I was only messing with you about the root beer. Because I have the ginger ale. I don't drink coffee, so I'll do the ginger ale since we added that with Bernice the week before last. So
Just keep it the beer is related to the
root beer.
ginger ale. It's
Okay.
the same thing, right? So we're
Okay.
gonna
Yeah.
we're gonna
Soda.
go with
Yeah. Okay.
it's a soda.
Yeah.
So
Yep. Leave it a root beer today. I got a taste for a root beer today. I love it. I love root beer.
all right. All right. So your question is going to be really simple, right?
Okay.
And we're gonna wait for Ata to come on, but let's
Leadership
share
without
your answer. Let's share your answer.
Mm-hmm.
The question is, okay, when you hear leadership without soul, all right? When you hear the word or the term leadership without soul, because today's topic is leadership without soul. So what comes to your mind? What do you think of?
Well, and see, I don't know if this is the way that you are. I guess it's just the way that I'm interpreting the question because when I see leadership without soul, the silent crisis, the second part of that is what confuses me. But when I think of leadership without soul, and I was saying this prior to you all coming on, I think of someone that is empty, someone that does not have any substance to them.
Mm,
They are what I call, and my brother's on here now. My spiritual brother, he's here on me now. But we used to have a podcast that we did together, and I used to always talk about the Cotton Candy podcast. And what I meant by that, you have Cotton Candy podcast, you have Cotton Candy preachers, you have Cotton Candy leaders. And what I mean
mm,
by that is people who have no substance to them. You ever had cotton candy? Have both of you had cotton candy before? You ever had cotton candy,
Yes.
the big fluffy stuff? Well, here's the thing about cotton candy. Cotton candy is big and fluffy, but when you bite into it, there's nothing to it. It melts straight in your mouth.
they-
It
yes,
has no
yes.
substance to it. It has no filling to it. It has nothing that's what I think about when I think of leadership without a soul. I think of an empty person who has no substance to them. They are what you call the movers or you call the pretenders. That's leadership without soul. Is someone who's a pretender, someone who's a mover who does not, who doesn't have that substance to them, who is afraid
Mm,
to do as we talk about here, have these deep, um, powerful, needed conversations that everybody else or a lot of other people don't really have. So that's what I think about. That's what comes to mind when I think of the leadership without soul. That's what comes to my mind. That emptiness, that cotton that cotton candy leader who doesn't have any substance to him and has no really kind of they're just there, and they don't have a backbone. They're afraid to say they'll go along to get along. They pretend to be something that they're not. They move just so that they can keep the position that they have and everything like that.
yeah, the problem is it's sweet, you know?
Hmm.
It's big,
Hmm.
empty, and sweet.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
that's a great metaphor actually. That's a great metaphor because it gives you the feeling, but yes, no
Yeah,
substance.
for sure.
And and,
And
and
maybe
it
that's what
just
a lot of people are attracted to is the sweetness. They'll take the sweetness, but they don't realize
yes,
that there's nothing beyond the sweetness that's there.
exactly. Exactly. Man, I love it. I love it. I love it. Atala, what's your drink today?
What is my dream? For me is help people
Oh,
to
no,
heal
drink,
emotionally.
drink,
My drink,
drink.
my drink. Right now, just like a tea, simple tea.
Okay, so I so I take it that you're ordering on the table of the CDL Cafe tea,
That's
right?
right. That's right.
Okay, okay. So your question is going to be, let me see. So, why do organizations reward results over leadership with soul?
Because I think it's easier to reward in this way. You don't have to go deep. You don't have to resolve problems. You don't have to lead, with with that kind of mindset of when something is not working well from the human perspective, it's easier to avoid it, right? So it's easier to just go to the simple way to lead to get results, easy results as well. Because I think here we're talking about many things. We're talking about money, we're talking about time, we're talking about also like easy way, right? Easy results. We're talking about no confrontation. I mean, no really helping people to to rise their consciousness as well. So I think it's many things. So it's easy to just lead by default, that go through the deep process and really grow through the process. That makes sense?
Mm. Yep, total sense. And I think that what we were talking about earlier, Dr. McKinsey, people losing their jobs, is because organizations are now shifting their focus. They don't want leaders. They want results. They don't look at people as assets. They look at them like, I would like to call it money-making machine. So since we were talking about that behind the scenes, me and you earlier, what's your input on that? Like, what do you say when I tell you that the companies or the organizations today are overlooking leaders and they are focusing on money-making machines? They are not looking at the leader as a leader. They're not looking at the values. They're not looking at the integrity or principles. They're looking at them as a liability. Actually, they're saying that we're paying you too much money. You have to give us result, and you're costing us too much if you're not giving us the result. So what's your input on that?
Now, here's the thing. I don't know if they're necessarily looking for results in the way that you were describing it. I think that they're looking for results in regards to, as you said before, pretenders and movers. They want people in those leadership positions that are, as we talked about here, that are empty, that don't have a sense of principles, or what we call our VIPs. They don't have values. They don't have integrity. They don't have principles. They're looking for those because then they can dictate, hey, whether or not, as long as you are giving me the results that I want, I don't care whether or not you have value, that you have the value, you have integrity, that you have principles. I want your results. As long, and I think I explained to you all this the other day, or last time, one of the conversations we might have had, and I won't say his name, but there was an interview by this sports journalist, and he was talking about how he was able to get the position that he had because when they looked at the amount of money he was getting paid, but they ignored that because when they were asked, well, why is he still here? One, but then two, they asked, well, why is he, why do you like this guy? And he said, because I did not say no. So as long as I'm not saying no to them and I am their pretender, I am their mover, then I have the ability to be able to stay. And even if I'm not getting results, because I know some people that were in leadership, they weren't getting the results either. They were only there because they were pretenders. They were the movers, the ones that will move to do anything that they have to do in order to be able to keep the job. And that to me is what they're looking for, because then they can, they can get the results that they want because they know that the pretender and the mover is going to bust their butt to be able to get them the results that they want, not necessarily the results that the organization needs in and of itself as a whole.
But don't you see, or don't you think that these two, meaning like what I mean and what you mean, are connected together? Like,
Absolutely.
So what are the consequences of what we just shared right now? I want to hear your both your inputs. Let's continue with you, Dr. McKinsey, and then we go to Atala. Like, what do you think are the consequences?
No, I think real quick, the consequences are you have no soul. You're empty because you're doing things from the individual perspective, the leader perspective. You're only doing things that are pleasing to the organization that you're working for. If they say jump, you say how high. If they say go left, you go left. There isn't any thinking that has to go along with it. I'm just going to do what you tell me to do, regardless of how I may feel about it, even if I do object to what it is that you're asking me to do, even if it goes against my values, even if it goes against my integrity, even if it goes against my principles. I'm willing to go against that because it's going to keep me in the position that I am, and I'm believing that I'm going to get the results that they're asking me for. And as a result of that, they won't get rid of me. There won't be that consequence that I have to pay. That'll be the consequences of everybody else around me. They can get fired, but I won't be the one that gets fired.
I think, Dr. McKenzie, you just mentioned something so important because in reality, many people are still in their jobs, not because they want it or they would like it or they enjoy it, but they are afraid. They are afraid to speak out. They are afraid to just say something that they are not, they are against their, not just their leader, but against the institution, against the organization. That makes sense? So a lot of people are moving in that emotion, in that fear. So when you have fear, what do you have? I mean, you are blocking yourself. You're not making other decisions. You are just going through, you are just playing safe. Because we're talking here that a lot of people are losing their jobs, which is true. And also there is a lot of employees. So not just from right now, from many years ago, that they were so disappointed, but they couldn't never say something because, they will be fired. So think about how we're moving in this society, in the economy also that is so complicated right now. So people are just saying, I prefer to stay than to get fired because I need a job. So that's the mentality true. So we are talking about this silence for so many years. So when a people doesn't speak out, it's just, that way of thinking, of living, of acting as well, even if you are not happy. So we're talking about here that people are in their organizations, in their companies, but they are not satisfied. They are not happy with their jobs. They are not working with energy, with that kind of, I'm going to work, If we think about it, we do some kind of, interviews, we will see that very minimum, very low percentage of people are really happy in their jobs. So this is something that is big because this creates like a community, a nation, a society. Is people are working with not being happy, but not forget about happy. We not feel productive. We don't feel like they can speak out, that they can be more productive, that they can share their ideas because there is a lot of pressure too. That comes from leadership positions. I believe that another important factor is everything has to be so quickly. We need to get results now, right now. So there is not the process, as you mentioned, Dr. McKenzie, of thinking, of reflecting, of evolving. It's just like, do it. So leaders now are also very young people that they want results and they do now. I don't care how I'm going to do it. I just want it now. So think the process behind, right? So age is important. Values are super important. We are leading without values. Think about it. We are leading without values, without principle, without that integrity. It's so difficult right now because you want to do something, you want to get something, but I prefer to just go with the flow, right? Because it's better or it's safer. Right now, it's a lot of things going on we're talking about in the United States, a lot of things going on. And people are so afraid about losing their jobs.
Yeah. Yep.
And people in leadership are afraid to even say something really quickly. Before you talk, I was watching on Instagram or TikTok, one of the ones that was on my feed, and the person, she was talking about how she has connections with people that are working in our museums, in our National Historic Museums today, and she was saying that they are afraid. These are people in leadership. They're afraid to say certain things. They're afraid to put certain things out there because they're afraid that their job will be lost, or that the consequences of them being true to the history that it is. They want to take the history and do away with certain aspects of it that are negative, but anything that makes them shine in a brighter light, that's all that they want to be able to have out there. And yet there's no leader that should be in a position that has to make that choice. And to be able to be in a position that way where they have to keep silent, and where they feel as if I say something, or if I don't shrink myself, or if I don't shrink my value or my integrity, then I'm gonna be out here I'm gonna be one of those that are put into the unemployment line. That's real. I mean, that and what you're talking about, it is so real in this day and time.
Can I tell you something else? I was talking with a friend of mine not too long ago, and I remember she was telling me, I am feeling super overwhelmed. I'm feeling like I'm not anybody there, and she does amazing things in her job, but it's the fact to feel that fear. You know, people are controlling. When you control, people are moving in fear. They don't like it. They don't feel it. Even their energy level is very low. You know, their productivity is very low. Their mood changes so drastically. But this is happening in many positions. So when I was listening to her, I say, what about if you speak out? But just the fact to even think about speaking out is so fearful. So think about how many people are moving in the same situation. And this is coming from leaders in big organizations, but they don't see how they are affecting their well-being of their employees, their lives, right? That self-esteem too, many things.
Right. Well, thank you guys for opening up on this topic, because the second part of the topic that I've chosen is called the silent crisis. So we have to really pay attention, because this is really a silent crisis going on. And for those who don't know, what does leadership mean? This is what it means. Leadership plays a very important role in our lives. It's not what you're seeing on social media. It's not branding. It's not buzzwords. It's not trends. Leadership is life. Like, I'm gonna reveal my acronym that it's a personal acronym related to the things that I focus on. I speak life, leadership, inspiration, faith, expression. These are the main four things that I'm focusing on. Leadership is essential. It's life. And for those who don't know what does leadership mean, I think that after the talk today, you will understand that leadership is the backbone, is the second L for life. You have the first L is life, the second one is leadership. No question about that. Without leadership, life collapses. Because at the end, we are humans, right? And there's some kind of connection, collaboration, communication, all the C's, and the number one C that controls everything is character.
You mentioned something so important, because when I think about leaders, always they come, not just business, it always comes life. Because a father who is not a leader is leading without also values, and it's affecting, their kids, it's affecting wife, it's affecting, practically family. When you are not aware of that, it's create chaos in your life and also in your business. Yes. So that's very important. I always see like a leader is something that really is hard to lead sometimes with values, right? Because you're going to have temptations, you're going to have opportunities that are going to look great, but go back and see, what is my value? What is my principle? How it's difficult to lead even with integrity, I believe, but it's possible because it's a work, it's an inner work. But I believe that we need to intensify also the importance of leaders are not just businessmen. Leaders are parents who are leading their kids or their families. So we need to ask them how they're leading their lives as well. Because I think that has a domino side effect in everything that we do. in everything, business, life, in your health, in your relationships as well.
And can you imagine the title, Doc, saying leadership without character? Because that's what leadership without soul is. It's leadership without character. And character are those three things that we talk about all the time: values, integrity, and principles. That's what leadership would be void of when you talk about being void of character. You don't have those substantive things that allow you to be able to be in the position that you're in and be unapologetic about
Mm.
how you
Mm.
feel about certain things. That's what that is. When you are without soul, you are apologetic. Oh, I'm sorry I said that. Oh, I'm sorry. Not that you don't want to be out there saying everything all willy nilly, but but you certainly you certainly should be unapologetic about your values, about your integrity, and about your principles, and not allow anybody or any organization or anything that you do to compromise that. Because when we do, then you're willing to, you're in essence, the second part of what you said there is you're being silent. And that's what's created the crisis that this world is in, yet alone this country is in. It's
Mm.
a silent, that silent crisis is the very thing, because people have kept silent on the things that they need to be and must be speaking up on.
Mm.
And you should want people in your organization that are willing to say things that challenge you, especially if you are an entrepreneur, if you're in a position of leadership. You should not be afraid for someone to be able to challenge what it is that you're saying. Now you got to do it in a respectful way. They have to, it has to make sense and all of that stuff. But you should want to have people that challenge. Hey, you know what? You think that sounds right? That doesn't look right. I don't think that that's what we truly represent. And people not being afraid of the consequence of losing a job or whatever other consequences that may come with that. We shouldn't have to have that come along with it. But unfortunately, this is the real world that we live in, so it can come with those consequences.
When you were talking right now, you made me think of the other side of the silent crisis. You have those who don't speak up, and then you mentioned those who have values, and they
Hmm.
have to be, they have to talk. They have to talk.
Hmm.
They have to. So here you're talking about something that is related to the razor that I was talking
Hmm.
about last time.
Hmm.
Conviction versus arrogance.
Hmm.
So
Could you
those
repeat
who
for me,
are,
please, Hassan? Could you say it? I didn't hear you very well.
yeah, I was referring to, like, Dr. McKinsey now reminded me of the very first razor on my list of razors, which is conviction versus arrogance. So I want you, Dr. McKinsey, to elaborate on what you are saying, because some people might mix between those who speak out of conviction
Hmm.
and those who speak out of arrogance.
Hmm. Hmm. Well,
So that's why I want you to elaborate more.
here's the person that speaks out of conviction, and I liken it to this. People talk about the difference between confidence and arrogance, right?
Mm.
The difference between confidence and arrogance, and Natalia, you the coach here, so I want you to correct me if I'm wrong in saying this. But the difference between conviction and arrogance is this very thing: is conviction is me understanding and knowing who I am and knowing the values and integrity and principles that I hold within me. The arrogance would be me trying to convince Italia, me trying to convince you, trying to convince others of who I am. If I'm confident in myself and I am and I believe in what I believe in, I don't have to convince you. I'm comfortable whether you believe me or not in what I'm saying. But you have to. I'm going to make my point, but I don't need you to. I don't have to make a believer out of you in what I believe in, if that makes sense. Because you can believe in what you believe in, but I'm not trying to convince you to believe in what I'm believing in. I'm just making my point in who I am, the values that I hold, the integrity that I walk in, and the principles that I carry along with me. To me, that's the difference between arrogance and confidence.
You mentioned something important,
Atala.
because basically it's when you are self-confident about who you are,
Mhm.
about your beliefs, so you don't have to pretend, you don't have to actually force any conversation or try to convince anybody, because it's coming from your own identity.
Yeah,
So that's yes, completely agree
yeah.
with you.
You know how I like because I encountered something related to that,
Okay.
and I always think of frameworks or think of metaphors that make me remember the difference between X and Y, you know. And this is how I see it. When you start leading with character and you focus on leading with character, it's gonna do the rest. It's gonna
Mm.
give that kind of vibration that reflects what's in you without you saying anything. And when you say something, it's going to double this vibration to make it as strong as it is. It's going to show the conviction without you doing anything. It's going to come with ease. It's going to be effortless. So that's how I mean, you don't have to do effort to walk on razor. You can walk on razor when you know the secret. And the secret is leading with character. That's why the tagline is always, if you want to become a true leader, all you have to do is to lead with creed, CREED,
Mhm.
then lead with character. Because when you lead with creed, here we're talking about conscience, we're talking about responsibility, we're talking about empathy, we're talking about expression, and we're talking about discipline. These are the 5 pillars of the framework creed that also I'm
Mm.
working on. So
Nice.
that's how I live. You know, I live with frameworks. I live with and experienced frameworks, whether it was like from my personal experience or I witnessed these things happening in my life. And again, through character-driven leadership, we have the opportunity to share with you, whether me, Dr. McKinsey, or Atala, we have the opportunity to share everything that we have in our bucket to make you become the VIP leader that you should be. So thank you so much, both of you, for sharing what you have shared right now. And I don't know, like, what can we say more to really tell those who are watching that this is a silent crisis that is killing us. It's like the sickness that is entering our body without us feeling it, but then we are going to pay the price. So I'm going to start with you, Atala. How
Uh,
important it is, how important it is to tell those who are watching us to lead with character.
I think it's crucial. I think that to me comes like well-being always, how you're leading, with which is the emotion behind your leading in your life and in your business, because at the end of the day, any emotion is going to have a consequence, right? And when we are leading with that kind of lack of awareness, our body is going to be having consequences, our life, our relationships, our business as well. So everything is connected. So I think we need to really kind of raise the consciousness about our values, our principles, the integrity that we're leading in life, in business, and really kind of doing like a exercise every single day, not just once in a while, not just when I have a confrontation, when I have to, solve a problem, no. This is a every single day mindset, heart. Your spirit has to be aligned. Your energy also. So I would suggest when you wake up, you brush your teeth every day. Do it again. You don't go out without clothes, right? You need to put it on every single day because you're gonna need it. You're gonna face situations where you have to lead with your character every single time. So I would suggest put it on every day and practice, 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 practice
Tyler,
more.
I hope they are going outside with clothes on and put their clothes on every day.
You know, this is that's the same thing, right? We need to embrace it with consciousness, with that kind of, I need it. Yes, I would say that.
What about you, Dr. McKinsey? How important it is to lead? I mean, okay, or now you cannot talk about clothes, right? Tyler did the knee.
No.
Okay,
But
because
I like what
I
Talia
love
said, because here's
it.
the thing. Because I'll add on to what she said. I think it's important that we, just like she talked about brushing our teeth, putting our clothes on, we do that every day. We have to put on our character and work at our
Mm,
character each and every day. It's not something that we can just lay on the side. It shouldn't be where we pick it up and put it down and lay it down when we feel comfortable with it. Oh, I can lay my character aside, or lay my soul aside for this and then pick it back up again. No, this is something that we have to wear each and every day in each and every situation, circumstance, challenge that we may have. And here's the question that we have to ask ourselves, because you said it, Dot. You said there's a cost. There's a cost to it, and you have to ask yourself, what cost are you willing to pay? There's going to be a cost to your soul. There's going to be a cost to your character. But what cost are you willing to pay? Some people are willing to say, "Hey, you know what? I'll give it all to you. I'm just gonna. I'm gonna keep silent. I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna risk anything for it." But then there are some that refuse to say, "You know what? Nah, I'm not. I'm not allowing you to be able to go beyond this point with me. Yeah, I'll take some things, but I'm not allowing you to be able to go beyond this point with me." When you are constantly, and when you're wearing your character each and every day, and you're working at your character each and every day, you get to define the cost that you'll pay. And you get to
mm,
understand the cost that you'll pay and willing to pay. That's the thing. You have to know what cost you're willing to pay first. Or if
mm.
you don't define that, then you'll find yourself compromising yourself, or as we talked about here, being silent in situations where it'll cost you your soul. And are you willing
Mm,
to? There have been some people that they're willing they're willing to sacrifice their soul for the advancement of themselves, for the advancement of money, for the advancement of being liked, the advancement of whatever it is. So you got to work at this soul thing. You got to work at this character thing every single day, because there are going to be
I like
challenges
that.
that you come up against, that it's going to test your character. It's
Mm,
going to
yes,
test your soul, and you got to be
yes.
willing to say, "Whew, I'm glad I had my soul and my character on
No,
today, because if I didn't, I
and you know
can't run
what?
back to
This
the house and
happened.
get it."
This really happen every single day because we need to think about it. We are at home with family, that also our character is taste.
Mhm.
We are outside with friends. We are out, doing something in business. Every single day, our character
Yeah,
is taste. So the more
yeah,
that we, put it on, it's going to be easier at least to confront or maybe say, oh, this is not the right way to go. And that
yeah.
comes also, guess what? Intuition. Because when you lead with the soul, with the heart, your intuition develop and it's easy to make decisions as well.
For sure.
Mm, mhm. So, talking about all that, I believe that we need to little bit highlight on the signs of people who are leading without soul. What are the signs? What are the warning signs? Because like we need to highlight on the signs and and warn people so they can understand who's leading without soul and who's leading with soul, you know. So in your point of view, and we'll start with you, Atala, what are the signs of a leader, or let's say of a person whose leadership is without soul?
Wow, that's a deep question, Hassan, because it's like everybody's moving in ego most of the time. Your soul and ego is against also. So think about it. It's just the manipulation, the control, the envy, the anger, the fact to always being able to show up who you are. It's many things. So I will say that when you're leading with your soul, you're leading with peace. It's going to be peace in the middle of any decision that you make. When you live with your soul, it's going to be through just principles, through the values that we have, through that connection, through that compassion, that empathy that you show to others. When you live with your soul, you're going to have that kind of clarity. You know, it's easier. It's bad to. There is no confusion. There is no like it is my way or any other way. No, it's my way. No, that's ego. I would say just it's easier for me to say, look at the person, you know, the reactions, not the response. We tend to always react, not respond. And when a person is leading with the soul, is tending more to respond. And you're responding with clarity, with conviction, with more peace, with more empathy towards others, you know. That's what I would say. And also, again, I always talk about energy, but the energy is just there. It's not very drained, you know. It's living with that conviction of I want the best for others, not just for myself. So it's taking away their self to really lead and always put also their first, I mean, their well-being and their interests of others, not just I mean, his personal interests.
What would you say, Dr. McKenzie? What are the signs of a person who's leading without soul?
Well, I think the signs are someone who is not transparent, someone who is not they are selfish instead of selfless. They think about themselves first before they're thinking about, you know, the people that they're leading or the organization that they may be working for. Someone, I think the signs is someone who is narrow-minded or narrowly focused. They can only see what they want to see. They don't see the big picture, or they don't see what someone else may be saying to them. They're only open to their ideas, not other people's ideas. And the last one will be, I'll say, is someone who lacks vision, who doesn't have a vision, and they're willing to kind of just do, oh, we'll figure it out, it'll get done, you know, oh, whatever you say, I'll do it. They have no vision for themselves, and they have no vision for, you know, for the people that they're leading, or vision for the organization that they are part of. Those would be just a few.
Of course, there are a lot of signs for people leading without vision.
Yeah.
Leading without soul. You know,
So,
they don't have the soul. They're not putting everything in to lead with heart.
right.
You know. Speaking of that, what's the difference between leading with soul and leading with heart? This question is for you, Atala. Let's see what you have.
I think that soul is even deeper than with the heart. With the soul, it's like so, you know, the last layer of everything. You know, we have mind, heart. You know, we have the mind, body, heart, spirit. I mean, your soul is so clean, the one that has been working so hard to just take away all the layers of all these negative emotions that we all have and we all are vibrating every single day. So I would say that is something that requires so much work, inner work, so much forgiveness of your mistakes of others, so much empathy toward yourself to show it toward others, so much love for your purpose, for humanity, that love that create that kind of higher vibration and even transform the way of people thinking and feeling at the same time. So I say soul is even deeper than the heart.
Hmm. Hmm. I like this answer. I'm asking this question for a purpose. There was a purpose that behind this question, and this thing is to tell whoever is watching us today that we came clean on this earth, and everything that we added as accessories to our soul, to our leadership, to our way of life is generated by the society, is generated by the external factors. So when we decide to lead with soul, we have to do all the heavy lifting. We have to do all the hard work that Atala was talking about to remove all the external factors, accessories that we had on since childhood and look within, pull out our values, pull out the things that we believe in, pull out our principles, lead with integrity, become the VIP leader that you need to become. This is, I mean, like it's all related. We say that we are three perspectives. We have one mission, is to make you lead like a VIP leader, a leader who walk with values, integrity, and principles. So this question was meant for us to deliver the message that I'm telling you about right now. So thank you, Atala, for this definition. There are so many things that we need to talk about. There are so many things we need to cover around this topic. So I'm gonna confirm from now that next week is going to be part 2 of this conversation, because I think I don't know if you guys feel the same. We're hitting on important points, let's say, or we're talking about important angles for like about this topic that we have chosen today. What do you think?
I would love to. I think it's something that it will be maybe taking 2 or 3 more. Who knows, right? It's something that we all need to really kind of confront, face, and also prepare to see how we can lead with more not just character but yourself.
Yeah, and I think it
Yeah,
warrants a part two because there's so many angles and so many things that need to be addressed within this. And when you have a soulless leadership, that's that in this day and time, unfortunately, that's a lot of what's going on. You have a soulless, you have soulless leaders, and it has to be talked about, and it has to be addressed so that we can get entrepreneurs, we can get leaders, one, back to where they need to be, but then two, what that does is that will only strengthen the organizations that they lead and put them in a position to be able to be successful. So
exactly. Exactly. And we have to be generous. We have to, squeeze ourselves to get the maximum we can to offer to those who are watching and listening. What are the things that they can do to get back on the driver's seat?
yeah,
Lead with character, lead with soul. So we have to put all our mind and heart into that and offer what we have to offer to help whoever is in the cafe lead as a VIP leader. So that's going to be a wrap up for our today's conversation. And don't forget to join us on our Facebook group. Follow
yes.
us on Instagram. Be connected with us. Go to the YouTube channel. Subscribe. Watch the earlier episode. And I always say that pick your taste. Whatever works for you, just pick it, learn it, apply it in your life, because we want you to become a VIP leader, a leader who leads with values, integrity, and principles. And stay tuned to what's coming in December. We're going to have the webinar. Let's make it official. We're going to have the webinar where we will be talking about leading as a VIP leader, and we want to see you there. Join us, learn. We're going to talk about really important things that are going to help you narrow it down and make it ready for you to lead with character. So enough of me talking. Last word from you, Atala, then Dr. McKinsey, then we'll close it out.
Just embrace the opportunity that we all have to lead with character. That's mean character. We already know what it's included, and be grateful that we have the opportunity every single day for that.
Yeah, and I'll just add, I think what we talked about today was great. But for those that are part of the cafe, not only here on Instagram, but also, or if you go to the Facebook group, I just uploaded it's called Building the Ultimate Business Model. There for leaders that are a part of this. They can go there. They can actually they can upload that, take that that information that I put into there. Is something that I believe that every leader needs to understand. What's your business model? What's your leadership model? Building your leadership model. And being able to take that, and that'll go to what we were talking about. What are the signs of a soulless leader, and what are the signs of a leader that leads with soul? What does that look like? So you can take a look at that. It's in the on Facebook. It's in the Facebook group there in the file section. You can see all of the other uploads that we have there as well too. So it'll be a great time to go check that out, and the other ones too, and upload those too.
Yep, and don't forget to connect with us on LinkedIn, because we are there on LinkedIn, and we're going to monetize all these platforms to make sure that we are getting you the best of the best, and for you to get the announcements and everything that we're planning to do, because trust me, the CDL Cafe has a lot to offer. So that's it for today, and we shall see you next Wednesday with part 2 of this topic, and maybe 3, 4. We never know, because we have so many angles to talk about. It's very important. All right.
Thank you so much. Have a wonderful.
All right, everybody.
All right, that's it for this week's Table Talk Wednesdays. If this conversation sparks something for you, don't just scroll past it. We want you to share this with someone who leads or want to lead with character at the center. Also, we want you to drop your thoughts in the comments. Trust me, we read everyone. And if you believe that your voice could add something to this movement, don't hesitate to reach out. We will be back next Wednesday with another conversation that matters. Until then, lead with truth, lead with courage, and most of all, lead with character. Peace upon you.